Good morning, everyone. Project Pluto again, Saturday morning. Elsa and I left this morning, actually at 12 o'clock last night we left and went home. And we're back here again. We have managed to find some grass plugs to fill up the gaps where the grass had died. So Elson's quickly putting those in for me. And I'm doing my favorite thing, which is watering the garden. I'm really going to miss this when I go back to London. But I wanted to show you the hose pipe that I had bought for the front garden. Yes, they do have sprinklers, but I know they won't put the sprinklers on every day, but the roses do need a good water, and it's quite nice for them to get involved with that. There's nothing nicer than getting a tactile approach to your own garden. Standing on the lawn barefoot is the best thing you can do, and just nourishing your own garden. The hose pipe I bought works on its own pressure, so it's the actual hose pipe that creates the pressure in the water. It doesn't come from the tap, and it doesn't come from the faucet. So let me turn this around and I'll show you. It actually looks quite groovy. So as I said, the pressure doesn't come from this and it doesn't come from the tap. It actually comes from buildup in the pipe. Now when I turn this pipe on, or the water on, watch how the hose pipe moves. It's a bit like a snake. So you see it's filling up with water now. And then when I use the gun, it creates its own pressure. So if you need to build up a bit more pressure, you just switch it off, and again it starts to fill up some more. And it's a really good way of creating, and obviously this has all different forms of, you can mist, flat, cone, stream, drench, the whole thing. I could drench Elson, but he might get cross with me. Okay, so I sat last night and I thought, how am I going to reveal this house to you in the best possible ways? Because there's so much to show you that if I do it all at once, I think you might get a bit lost in the detail or the process of how my brain works. So what I'm going to do is I won't do it all in one shot. So we'll carry on with the episodes. But what I'll do is I will focus on one area. So we'll walk through the house. So we'll start again in the front garden and the entrance hall, and I will do before and afters, and I'll explain why I've done certain things, certain colors, why I've carried things through to different rooms for a theme on how I got there as well, and what I draw inspiration from, and how I've cleverly tried to use my budget with what they've originally had. And at the end, what I want you to know at the end is how little I've actually bought in comparison to the entire project, and how much I've used of their own stuff, and how to upcycle and change and develop a home into what I really think is now a really soulful home. I wish you could see what I can see now, because it's really, really coming together, but I don't want to ruin it, because there's a few more things that will just add in that final magic to the touch. So thanks again for watching. I'll add a few more things that are happening hopefully today, and then Monday the last bits will come in. Tuesday I'm going to allow Marguerite and Brian to come back home, and I'll show you everything there. But I'm going to finish the gazebo today, so I might show you a little bit of that. The fairy lights are up. They look amazing at night. The garden lights work. That looks good. So it's been a fantastic project. Nothing's gone wrong. Touch wood. Yeah, it's been a great, thoroughly enjoyable process. Right, so I'm going to post early today because I want to crack on and get things, and I don't want to keep doing this because I get distracted and then I'm not quite sure what I'm going to show you, what I'm not going to show you. But so I'll just leave you a few tantalizers for Saturday morning. And so last night when I told you I was carrying bricks from one side of the garden to the next, I'll tell you why. Because we had bricks left over from our building work, which always gets left lying around or down the side alley, and I hate things just lying there for no reason. So we had pots and plants that were scattered kind of all over the swimming pool area. Well, I've now put them in one spot because I'm creating space now, and because space creates free flow and uncluttered thoughts and stuff like that. I mean, it's a whole deep level you could go into. So I just want to show you how I've cluttered them together on different levels and different heights, and that's what I've used the bricks for. Okay, so as you remember, I had pots, there were pots all the way along here, which we've moved, and I've put here. I haven't quite finished yet, but now we have a whole colorful little garden, and I'm so excited because the jasmine is flowering. There is this tiny little purple chap. I can't remember what he's called, but they're about to go ballistic. So soon enough, this is all going to ignite. The yesterday, today, and tomorrow, which smells heavenly, is also starting to bloom. I mean, these are just so rewarding, it's ridiculous. This, I think these are, oh God, I remember them the other day. It's the gladio, no, it's not gladiolas. It's, my mother will kill me. She knows exactly what they are. It'll come to me when I've switched this off, I'm sure. And then we've got another jasmine there that's also flowering. So we've created quite a nice little pod here. And there were 2 pots that I used, that Marguerite and Brian had. I'm just taking you down the side of the house. That were maroon, and they didn't really work for me on a color palette wise. So what I've done is I've actually put them down the side of the house. Now I know this sounds a bit bizarre, but the reason why I've put them here is because when they're lying in bed, instead of looking at this wall, they're now looking at a plant. And then I don't have to worry about the color of this pot clashing with anything else that's happening in the front. And there's their bedroom. We still have to remove the masking tape, but you know what I mean. If they've now got a slight view, and the same outside Marguerite's office, we've got these, and these will grow in the shade, which is lovely. And this is sorry, I obviously haven't had enough sleep today because I've lost all my words, but these little chaps will flower beautifully. And this is her office here, which I'm not going to show you inside because she hasn't seen it. But when she's sitting in there, she'll have, at least not just have this view, but she'll have this that'll grow a little bit taller. And that's what I've done so far. So obviously we have an enormous amount to still clear up and get rid of, but Marguerite and Brian, very good humans, are good into their recycling. So what I've done is I've now created 2 recycle bins, one for paper, one for glass, and they will all then stand down the other side of the house with the proper normal dustbin. What else is there? Difficult not to try and show you things, but I hope this chap's not having a wee in the pool. These chaps are all over the place. This will get a good clean for the nice lovely reveal. Look, there's the conference again. If you remember, our vegetable garden is starting to look quite nice and healthy. These are really taking beautifully. The basil is starting to sprout nicely. This is revived. I think the birds are starting to get to it. But look, our asparagus is going hell for leather here. Not sure what's happening with our lettuce. Let us know when you want to start showing your face. And then I've propped up all the tomatoes with sticks so that they're not hanging down. So those are all starting to look quite nice. And then underneath, remember this was an old braai/barbecue area that we bricked up. And then underneath was just this empty space, which was just a dust collector. So now I've filled it with wood, because they've got obviously the outdoor barbecue area, which is lovely, just even for a fire on its own. Remember that one over there, which still needs to be cleaned. So that chap there. And then also we've got the one inside the house, which is obviously predominantly what this wood is for. So I think that looks quite nice. And that is all I'm going to show you guys today. And until possibly Tuesday, I might not do anything on Monday. But you know me, I can't control myself. I just have to. So we'll see how we go. Have a great weekend, guys.